Since we're discussing the pedopal known as Knightsabers, Icer 1, which is Tracy's biggest lapdog now. I'm sure Joel's going to get jealous, but the official story was, Chang had doxed him before I did. And he had showed images of him, and he showed great restraint. Okay? So I doxed him through eBay. That's right, in 2012. On his Boondeticker account, and he was selling, it was a Joker doll kind of thing. So I bid on it. And back then, if you canceled an item or you had a resolved issue, so I won the bid, so you could get the person's actual docs. Well, eBay eventually changed their policy, but Monograph flew into the biggest rage on his October reigns when I decapitated his pedopal, which has now been adopted by Tracy and Joel, Troll Up Rules. Pedo Force, we call them. Chang used to call them Fail Force, and they were always fail, but they took fail to pedo. And so these child molesters, these child stalkers, these sexual deviances, these weirdos, Juan has been impersonating a woman named Catherine that used to stream on Blog TV, and he stole her identity. Where you can go to the Nev Schulman YouTube channel, my former channel, and there's tons of videos documenting this. Him raging. Trollop was trying to put out disinformation on him and claim it was Monograph, which we all knew it wasn't, and we knew right then and there that Trollop is working in tandem with, Joe's working in tandem with Juan Roman. So I doxed Juan Roman the third, who was living in L.A. at the time, and he got banned up for child porn. That's a fact. And again, you can go to my Neb Schulman Catfish MTV channel, and it's all there. Him raging on Von Helton's live streams to, is going to come shoot me in my eyeball. I know it's this thing about me having an eye, well, but this is fictitious mindset of these child predators, like Monograph. Monograph has made sick comments. I'm not even going to repeat it here about fingering children, people's children, and it gets worse than that. With his obsession with this thing he has about incest, everything he's ever. This is your typical narcissist, folks. They will always project their impulses, their thoughts onto others. So when they lose a fight, and when they lose an argument, they'll go on their slander campaign, and they'll make things up, and they'll do this and that, which is really not my first rodeo. This has no effect on me. It does not have no psychological effect on me. But I'm here to share with the class. So Juan has been a very naughty and sick individual. And he's a stalker. He stalked this young lady, and she outed him too. And again, you can see this is known facts. This is when I knew that Trollop was a pedopal, and he had a narrative. And then you've seen these pedophiles all come together, like Tacone, her taking her adamant defense of all pedophiles, her rabid defense of pedophiles. From Robert Thorson's statements defending pedophilia and CP to you name it. There's a long list of people. Tracy is now on the run. That's right. She's now on the run. She does this. She goes on a quote-unquote vacation. Every time the heat comes down when it gets hot. When things are hot. And she knows I'm going out to the UK. To England. In a few weeks. And on my last few days, I'm going to be going down to Wales. Down to Penarth, to be exact. And I'm going to pay a visit. A visit she'll never forget. And after I'm done, I'm going to get on that plane. I'm going home. I'm going home, and what happens in Wales stays in Wales. just like Vegas. So they can't. They won't extradite me over some little charge like that. Okay, I don't care if they put a warrant out for me. Really don't care. And I've never been one to beat women. This woman is not. This is not a woman. This is a predator. Once you become a child predator, male or female, your human rights do not exist. You no longer have human rights. You don't have rights. Now, again, Joel's slander campaign, and all they do is shift blame onto others to get the heat off their backs. This is just like way predators prey on children. They'll scare the children into silence, and this whole tactic does not work. I mean, never has in 10 years. They do not have an IQ above 60. These are very low IQ people. Very fundamentally simple and stupid. You'd think people would evolve and change their tactics. It's just dirty pool. On top of that, Monograph's, he's in some shit now. Okay? Now, he's been asking for it. He's been begging for it. And I've been making him dance beautifully. And exposing himself on Twitter. The true Monograph. The October Reigns. I think at this point, I'd say the majority of his followers are trolls. People are watching for cringe. He's the type of person you feel like, oh, you had a bad day and your life's not going so great. Maybe you're feeling down. But then you have to watch this freak show, this loser. This man that has to piss in a bag, a little sack, out of his catheter due to having sex with prostitutes that he found on Craigslist, that he had to hire for his videos, and it went untreated. So now his dick is unused and flaccid. He can't get an erection, folks. And if he ejaculates, it comes out a little slit where the tube is inserted in his gooch. That's right. It's not in the head of the penis, it's in the gooch. And so that's where his semen drains. Do you think Carrie's satisfied? Do you think she's a happy woman? No. Why would any woman take in this crumb bum, into Section 8 housing, mind you? That does not make sense unless they're incredibly lonely. So here's the thing. This guy has been doing libelous slander for years on people because he, as in his own words, he's worth nothing. He's a bum. And then he's indigent, and he doesn't have any money. He's a loser. He's a couch surfer. He's a squatter. He's squatting in low section housing, Section 8 housing, welfare people. Here's a guy that's been living off food stamps. Okay, he showed us his EBT card and raged years ago. I'm not Dale. Here's a guy, an old derelict man, incapable of caring for himself, for supporting himself, or getting a job or having gainful employment, that went mooching from Najol Moreno in Lakewood, Colorado. Now is laid up in low rent housing in Decatur, Illinois. You can't make this shit up. He's gone state to state because when his welfare runs out, folks, you can move to another state and start your welfare all over again. You can get your food stamps again because he's a parasite that lives off the taxpayer. He lives off SNAP. He lives off government money. While at the same time he hates the working class. He hates the government that spoon feeds him. It's all about his inadequacy, his ineptitude, his failure to be a man, folks. And his blatant narcissism, so painfully obvious. He just wants he wants attention. He needs that serotonin. He's basically a crack fiend, but gaining attention, whether it's negative or positive, is his source of supply, his attention. He needs that attention. His trolls, just like Von Hilton. two birds of a feather. I mean, the more his trolls would troll him, the more he got off. He enjoyed it. He was a glutton for punishment, as is Monograph. Roy Warren Marshall, a.k.a. Steve Quest, a man that's been notorious for fraud all his life, for stealing identities, just like, you guessed it, Icer1, a.k.a. Knightsabers, who was outed on Sega forums years ago for impersonating a child, and people were weirded out by it, and they looked at his bio, and it had his real age. He's actually older than I am. He's well in his 50s. We have a man well in his 50s impersonating young women. Nothing weird about that. Who has been, and again I said, has been in trouble for having possession of child porn, and even shifting it on Monograph. I find that strange. Why would he name Monograph? Yeah. So it's just like, drug addicts. Once they get arrested, they'll turn state's evidence just like that. They'll turn on each other just like that. And then one goes down, the rest go down. Then the meth lab goes down. Then goes Heisenberg. You get the point? So he's basically the Heisenberg of pedophilia. This is a man, Monograph, who ran Montography. When he was a photographer, he even stated that he was filming underage girls and children naked with their parents' permission. Video on the Master Zero Puppets channel, guys. You can't make this shit up. He had ads out for young nude gay models. Yet he rages and he calls everybody homosexual when he has been a cross-dresser wearing Nigel Marino's clothes and videos. And again I say, this is all about projection. This is all about his own impulses. He has offered to go down on Agent. He has solicited Agent 19 for sex, oral sex, folks. He would make remarks about sucking my cock and things like that, and would remove him. He would be so enraged, he would be up for hours, raging to deleting comments. And he still does it to this day. We know everything. We see all